All right, Big today is Thursday. It is October 27th. Welcome to the Dog Walk presented by Barstool Sports. It's myself, it's Chief, it's White Sox Dave. We're going to be chopping it up here today. We watched the doc. We're going to talk a little bit about that, but we're going to get into other shit too, so don't worry if you didn't watch it, because that's what we do. Isn't that right, David?
That's true.
That didn't sound like you at all.
What a creep. You sounded like a creep.
You know why I did that?
Why?
I recently watched Pulp Fiction, and when he pushes the button,
scary movie.
when he gets into Uma Thurman's house or whatever, she goes, push the button to talk or whatever, and he goes, hello. It's like really weird and creepy, and that's why I did it.
Yeah, it works. Mission accomplished. I was thinking of something else, though. When you said Pulp Fiction, I had a different movie in my head.
Pulp Fiction's like a very, very,
I know,
very famous movie.
I know.
How do you confuse that for anything?
I don't know, man. I don't know what to tell you. I fucked up. I had a...
You know, we've all been there.
Yeah.
That's fucked up, David. That's fucked up. But how's everybody feeling? Chief, how you feeling?
I'm good.
Good?
Yeah.
You got your Halloween costume cock-locked, ready to go?
No, you don't.
I haven't yet, but like what I'll probably do is just grab that jacket that everyone loves to make fun of and put the cowboy hat on and be like, I'm fucking ripped from Yellowstone.
Wow.
Just call it a day.
But we're
Coward.
not doing Halloween this year.
You're right. We're doing a White Sox Dave happy birthday surprise.
No, we're not. We're hunting, you dummy.
Oh, you're going hunting this weekend?
Yeah.
Where are you going?
First of all, we aren't. Sydney says she's going to Canada for 3 days, so
Did you read the text message?
I thought I did. She's leaving today, I thought.
Clean
but
the fucking potatoes out of
he
your
might
eyes.
be right, but like we're not going to be able to hunt because we don't have our bow set up. We haven't done the practice. We haven't done there is no point to us going this weekend. None. We're not. She won't let us hunt because of what happened. We won't say what happened when somebody else got in trouble because we're not ready to hunt with a bow. We're just not ready.
Oh,
Someone.
So we're not
Okay.
ready. So I think we're just going to have a White Sox Day birthday party.
okay.
Maybe.
All right. Happy birthday, Dave. It was my birthday a couple weeks ago. Nobody said anything to me,
I did.
so fuck you guys. No, you didn't.
Well, you're you're a mysterious guy. You don't like anyone talking about your birthday, and then you complain when no one talks about your birthday.
No, it
I
is
don't know. I
an
don't
awful
care.
day. I hate.
Yeah, me too. I
birthdays.
hate it so much, and I know that we all hate it so much that for you, because I know you hate it, I like to bring it up.
But
and
I
make
got
a
a
big deal
birthday
out of
that's
it.
easily rememberable.
It's the day before Halloween.
Yeah,
It's the only reason
everybody
I remember.
remembers it, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, nobody would remember it, and that's how I prefer it. But everybody remembers it for.
Maybe we'll get you. We want to do a little Declan Saturday. We'll bring you a cake there.
You know what? That sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah,
that does sound pretty good
I'll
to me.
see you there around maybe 3:00, something like
This
that.
is Halloween.
We'll talk about
We'll
it.
talk about it.
Yeah.
We'll talk offline.
So what are you, Dave? You are notorious for rotating through Mike Ditka, a leprechaun, and Alan from The Hangover for your 3 costumes. What are we landing on this year, Dave?
Whatever I can scrounge up out. Probably Ditka because I don't have.
Damn. I was hoping for leprechaun. I'll be
Actually, you know
honest.
what? It's not going to be Ditka. I officially,
Because
as
he's
of
canceled?
5 minutes ago, just booked my first career barbershop shave. Now, mind you, I haven't taken a razor blade to my face in years because I always just buzz it. And sometimes it looks clean shaven, but it never actually is like razor to skin. So tomorrow I'm getting one of those, so I'm not going to be able to do Ditka. Because you need, I could do a fake mustache, I guess, but
Yeah, you could put on the Mario mustache.
yeah, something like that. But I don't know.
What do you
see.
think he should be? Do you think he should add a
Well,
fourth thing?
I am very pro leprechaun.
You like the leprechaun?
Have you seen the
For the-
leprechaun picture?
Oh yeah, it's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Especially because the drunker you get, you could never, for instance, he's holding this picture over your head that when he was going to release it when we got 47.5, you could never, because you're supposed to be a drunk leprechaun.
Yeah,
you know,
that's
it's
true.
part
Yeah,
of the gig.
right.
Yeah.
You could be as drunk as you want.
I'm playing my character.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So that's why I like that. It's a good little bonus to the
There was
costume.
we were walking back from a party on Halloween in college one year, and we were cutting through campus right by the baseball field. And our baseball field, it was a wooden fence, and you couldn't see through it, but it was 2x4s, just like a normal backyard privacy fence. And we turned the corner to get down it was the right field line by our bullpen, and there was a body just laying there. And when it spooked us, we're like, holy shit. And the kid looked dead. And it just happened to be, he was an upperclassman, I forget his name, but he was Paul Bunyan that year. So we get him up, and he's obliterated drunk. And we were like, what's your name? He's like, Paul. My name is Paul. And we're like, Paul who? Can we help you? Can we get you home? And he's like, Bunyan. and he just walked off. Never saw him again.
Hope he's okay.
Yeah, I hope he's okay.
My other one I used to do was the Brawny Man. I just put on a flannel shirt.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Yeah, suspenders. That's all you need.
Yep.
I got my copy.
Walk around with paper
What are you
towel.
going, Ed?
Yeah, what are you
I think
going?
it's pretty good. I think it's pretty good. I don't want to say it though.
Come on, you can't do that.
I'm
You
sorry.
always
You
do
have
that.
to say it.
Well, just no. Follow me on social media because if I fucking go to a costume party, that's a good reason to follow. Mm-hmm. How
All
about
right,
that?
fine.
At Eddie Barstool on Instagram and Twitter.
I like being the Brawny Man, and then just like that's an icebreaker too. So everybody out at home who's out single dating parties, you just go over to tables and wipe up. You know, if a pretty girl has like condensation or they spill on the table, just go. I got that for you.
Can you believe
just,
this
That's
guy?
good.
Yeah,
That's
It's
smart.
a nice little icebreaker. You just wipe up their table. Like, I got
That
it
is
for you.
smart.
Yeah.
I'd like to beef up my Instagram following.
Yeah.
know, that's leading people there. I think I got a
What are you
nice.
sitting on?
I think I have. I'm close to 40, but I'm like not there.
Yeah. Well, you're
So,
double me.
But it's hard. I don't understand it.
I don't.
They
know
all say
either.
it's easy to build Instagram too.
Yeah, I'm like
yeah,
I don't get it. I don't understand it. But yeah, so follow. I think it's pretty creative. So, I mean, it's not that creative. It's just a movie character, but it's an obscure movie character, and it's like a cult following movie character.
Can you
So
just tell us?
No, I'm not. I'm not going to give people. You're going to have to follow me if you want to see it. Okay. Sorry, Dave. And that's if I go out.
At Eddie Barstool?
I may not go out.
All right. So if you don't go out,
then I'll
Easy.
tell you. I'll tell you
Okay.
next week.
all right.
All right.
Yeah. Deal.
Speaking of Sydney, I saw her this weekend at NASCAR. Mm-hmm. And if you're looking for tickets, you should go to Game Time. NASCAR is going to be in Martinsville this weekend. The weekend after that, they're going to be at Phoenix. I've become a big fan of NASCAR. You could find tickets for them in the Game Time app, the exclusive ticketing partner of the Barstool Sports.
They're the best. They're the best. We got the Oilers in town. Dave and I are going. There's this guy playing at the Riv who I've recently discovered, Noah Khan. Have you heard of him, Dave? He's like,
I don't believe so.
Folksy kind of sad boy fall music, awesome. And so someone just tagged me, and it's like, hey, like I'm looking for the best way to get tickets. Game Time had them listed. They're easy to get. It's the absolute best deals on the internet. So make sure you download that Game Time app because you can get to comedy shows, plays if you're into that, concerts. I'm using it for concerts and sports within a week. Game Time is always the answer.
Yep, it certainly is. Created by fans for fans, a ticketing app that makes it easier than ever to score last-minute sales on concerts or tickets to sports, concerts, and shows. They guarantee the lowest price. Download the Game Time app, go to the account tab to create a login and redeem code DOGWALK for $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply. Download Game Time, last-minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. All right, so in the spirit of spooky season, we did kind of watch a true crime doc on Hulu called Dead Asleep. And it had to do with a topic that we've kind of exhausted a decent amount on these shows and on live radio. And White Sox Dave, it kind of pertains to you and your battle with sleep paralysis, which I talked to Hannah about yesterday. And go into a little bit. Are you still? Do you still?
I haven't had it in a minute.
Really?
I'll give the kind of, I don't know, joke of a story and then kind of the seriousness. It would happen in my old apartment at Western Augusta in Ukrainian Village all the time to the point where I thought it was haunted. Now, I didn't actually think it was haunted, but it happened so frequently there that I was like, I live in a haunted place. And
spirits
crawling
into your brain at night.
It hasn't happened to me in a minute.
Didn't your roommate have to tackle you one time?
Well, that was the sleepwalking.
Okay,
that was the sleepwalking, which we'll talk about more. It's two totally different things. Mm-hmm. So sleep paralysis, which many people, Ed and I, when was it, 2019?
Yeah,
it was a long time ago. We did an episode of an early dog walk with sleep paralysis, which is where you are completely conscious while also simultaneously being in a state of sleep. So you're like awake in your own dream where you feel like you can't tell if you're awake or dreaming, but you feel like you're dreaming and then you think you wake up and you can't tell if you're dreaming. It's super weird. It's very backwards. And
wait a second. So how is that the same as a lucid dream then?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Sleep paralysis, but you can't move, and you're talking to yourself.
So you're aware that you're in your bed, but you're asleep.
You're aware that you're like in your own dream. It's like the fucking Leo movie, Inception. It's very, very odd. It's very hard to describe. There's going to be another flood of DMs of people that experience this as well. I'm sure, but you basically kick yourself out, and then you're still sleeping. And then you're like, all right, you're looking around, you're like, am I asleep still? And then you kick yourself out again.
That's
you're
freaky.
still asleep. And then finally, once you are awake, like fully awake, you can't tell if you're awake or not. And it happens, I guess, it seems like you're doing this for an extensive amount of time, but it's only happening over the matter of like 15, 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Because like time is non-existent in that state of mind. So, but that's different than sleepwalking, where you're just like, sleepwalking, you know.
What if that is just like our reality, that you can live an entire lifetime?
I could be dreaming right now.
Yeah, but you could live your whole life and out of the dream.
It's fucked up.
There's no concept of time.
But a lot of people, they see like demons and stuff when this happens, and it like fucks with them.
You ever done mushrooms?
I have not. No.
I think you should.
I don't think I should. I think that'd be a very bad idea for me. A horrifically bad idea. Usually the even keeled good idea guy.
Yeah,
that was a bad idea.
Just curious.
But yeah, dead asleep. That's what we're talking about today.
Yes. So dead asleep. It's about this. How old was he?
I think he was like 21.
Yeah,
21?
he was a kid.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah. So
basically,
he was young, legally, and this kid essentially murders this girl that he lives with. They live in West Palm Beach, Florida, and he calls the cops right away in the morning, and he's like, "Hey, I just murdered this person. I don't know what happened." And they come to the conclusion like, "Hey, he was sleepwalking," and like I've heard of this before. This is a thing where
you heard of this specific story, or
I remembered the story.
I don't remember the story at all, but
it was only a couple years ago.
Yeah, it was 2017,
2019. Well, that's when the trial.
That's when
was
the trial was.
Yeah.
2017 was what happened. I believe it was Canada. Someone got some like. Spoiler alert: this guy does not get off.
Yeah,
he's in prison right now.
Yes, he's in prison. He's found guilty. Someone did get off and found not guilty by sleepwalking. It was found as a defense. Like they were.
But you can't go off of Canadian law when you're.
Everyone knows that.
Yeah, that's.
So
sure, yes. I think it was Canada. I don't know. It was like
it was Canada because I was Googling. I googled
forensic files,
sleepwalking murders, and it was an autofill. And all the cases that immediately popped up were from Canada. Yes,
really?
From the story you're referencing. Yes,
they got wacky laws up there.
Probably.
Are you fucking with me?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, Ed was making it seem like, oh, that guy got off, so this guy should have too.
Just the way you said it, like as a legal expert, you can't take Canadian law.
But Ed was insinuating that you can.
Yeah, well, they made a point of that in the doc too, where it's like state by state. Like Florida doesn't have it was like a mental
insanity, because that's what he pled was insanity.
Yeah. But they had like an altered state law. Like every state has like different things that you can kind of get out of it, and Florida didn't have that, so you had to go an alternate route, and they tried to prove it. I gotta say, like again, no spoilers, but this guy's just a fucking murderer. Like I don't think there's any other way to look at it than, he probably, and they describe this guy, felt bad the way they were describing him off the open. They're like, he's a meek, small, little.
He didn't seem like that.
Like, well, the shots of him in prison, like he slimmed down, but like they're just like he's this kind of like doughy, probably has a body like mine, but like your height, and it's like he's just like this meek little guy, and with a little extra padding, and he never got, I pictured myself as like, man, if I stopped growing at 5'6" or whatever that guy was, I'd probably be a lot like him, but luckily I just kept growing. But he was like this guy who probably didn't get a lot of attention from girls, and then he had like his two best friends were these sisters, and they grew up together in Pennsylvania. Then they all moved down to West Palm Beach for, I don't know, restart their life. They didn't go to college or whatever. And one of the girls was moving back or up to New York somewhere to be with her boyfriend, and I think he just lost his mind because he was in love with her. And I think
They didn't really go into that though. That's what was weird.
1,000%. That is all it was.
Well, they didn't go into it because who were the people that were featured on the doc? The defendant, his lawyers, his mother,
one of
his
her friends.
sister, one of the friends.
Yeah.
And it's like,
You just would have think they could have found someone who would have been like, oh yeah, he was like,
bro,
in love
the
with
night
her.
before he was just in her closet naked.
Yeah.
Like the guy had some severe issues, and I feel bad for him. Like he had an awful life, is what it sounds like. His
Yeah.
father rejected him. His father's also a murderer, murder-suicide thing with his dad. So he had clearly had some big problems, some problems with substances. But like, well, I'm sorry, like he definitely had a thing for this girl, and probably was like, yeah, and he like convinced her to come over, like, I want you to give this t-shirt to Brian. He was like just laying in the friend zone weeds for forever, and got desperate towards the end, which is why he was like drinking crazily and acting out, hiding in her closet naked. And then she finally comes over, and he probably like pours his heart out one last time, and she rejects him, and is like, you know, it's probably, who knows, maybe mean about it. And that was all it took. And it was like, he freaked out.
yeah. I mean, it surprised me because the way everything was trending, I was like, oh fuck, he's gonna get off, and then the doc was just like, oh no, he was found guilty.
Oh, it's like, no, he definitely fucking murdered her.
Yeah. So
Well, and that was the other thing too. Like, he stabbed her 25 times.
yeah, that's a lot.
That's
okay. As the sleepwalking expert in the room,
Well, I sleepwalk too.
you
Do
do?
you?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
you've
Yeah, I've
never
said that
fucking
before.
told me this.
I 1,000% have said that.
I haven't
before.
heard that. I have not heard that.
I
from you.
feel we've been ripped on me for the New York.
I've
the
1,000% said
L-track
this.
or Subway.
I do have a very bad memory, but I don't remember you ever saying this.
Yeah, I've said it.
Okay. Well, you can go ahead then.
Well, you know,
You ever murder anybody in your sleep?
I have not.
Okay.
Give us a story though.
I typically
I got 3.
probably the one that likes to be told the most was when I was in college. I lived with one of my buddies, obviously, and like I sleepwalk a lot when I'm hot. Temperature's a big issue. I like it to be ice cold. I need the meat locker. You know. And I woke up. I woke up one time.
How old were you? I'm sorry.
So I'm 20.
Okay.
Well, I'm like 20. I'm
Okay.
like 19, 20. And I woke up and I went in my roommate's room in the middle of the night, and I turned his fan on and I walked out.
You don't remember it?
No.
Yeah.
And he was like, well, like I vaguely remember him like waking up, like kind of freaked out, like, yo, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah.
And then like I just like turned on his fan, and then I walked out. And then like he's like, dude, the fuck, do you remember coming to my room last night? I was like, kind of. Like, you like, because like you remember doing it, but you don't remember you don't, basically the way I describe it is you don't think of it as you're sleepwalking. You think you're a lot more conscious than you are. And then you think back. Would you agree with me? Like in your moment, you're like, oh, I'm not sleepwalking. Like, I'm fine. But then you go back and
You're in like a half sleep, half awake
yeah.
state.
Like I would say it's like when you're in like that drunk state, when you're like, oh yeah, I'm fine, and then you wake up the next morning, you're like, oh yeah, I was drunker than I realized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's, is that kind of accurate?
Yeah. I always.
Yeah. Like when you wake up and you're like, yeah, I was.
Have you ever been waking up? That's when. So Chief Radford said at the start of the show, but
No, I've never
waking
like,
up as when you're sleepwalking is the most terrifying thing on the planet, because you always remember going to sleep and where you went to sleep at.
Yeah.
Whether it's a bed, couch, whatever. And then all of a sudden you're not there, and it always fucks with you for a split second before you really shake it out and realize, oh, I was sleepwalking. KFC's another guy. He broke his arm or whatever doing that.
Yes, I've never done anything like crazily stupid like that. Like I'll get up and like I've walked all the way downstairs and like grabbed a fan or like got shit like that. Like it's very highly temperature related.
Yeah, that's very odd. Do you, either one of you guys have your episodes more triggered by drinking?
Well,
Dehydration for sure. Like I'm always thirsty.
Donnie, Barstool Donnie, he fucking pissed me off with this, because when I had the thing in New York, we were drinking, obviously. We were filming out there. We were filming one of the game shows out there. And that night, Donnie and I, after everybody had gone to bed, we stopped drinking a solid hour and a half earlier, and we couldn't figure out how to get the lights in the gambling cave off. And we're sitting there like going through the office, and we're at this point. There's no cameras rolling or anything. We're both very annoyed because all we want to do is pass out, and everybody thinks I was blacked out and just sleptwalk. It had nothing to do with the drinking.
No, I wasn't saying that. I was just saying like in general.
No,
like,
no,
do
no.
you feel
I would do it all the time as a kid, like a little kid, like 8, 9 years old.
Didn't you say like you stole like or like fell asleep in the van?
Yeah. So one time, police got involved. I sleptwalk. This is because I knew what we were going to be talking about today. A big family, 6 kids in our family, 2 adults, blah, blah, blah. So we had one of those big ass conversion vans like Jerry Seinfeld got that was in the woods with the bed in the back and everything. And one time they called the police. My mom did, my parents did, because I just went into the van and put the back seat down. It was the middle of summer, so it wasn't like it was freezing to death or anything. And just passed out, and they couldn't find me. And they thought I was abducted. Police got there. I see all the flashing lights. I'm probably, I'd guess, 8, 9 years old. And I pop out of the van, and my mom's obviously going fucking hysterical.
Yeah.
And I was just sleptwalking, passed out in the van.
Yeah, see, I've never done anything crazy like that.
Yeah. I'm surprised, back to the documentary for a second, that more people don't, if they're a murderer, don't try to be like, well, that person was sleepwalking and they were threatening me, so I murdered them. I feel like that's a better defense, being like, I don't know, they were acting crazy. They came into my house, or I saw them in the hall, like whatever, and I just murdered them.
That's what. So that was the other time. The most recent time was the one where I came to and I was barefoot in the subway in January in New York City. I'll say this now because it was fixed, because I just checked it the last time we were out there. The only reason I got in was because that front door next to the revolving door at our office, that doesn't lock. It locks, but you can just pull it open if you pull hard enough. So that's how I got back into the building. Otherwise, I would have froze to death. Fell asleep on the 3rd rail or something. But the third story about it, because a bunch of times happened where I just like went from bed to couch and passed out or whatever, no big deal.
Yeah,
but
like I've done that a lot too.
Yeah, shit like that.
Constant.
That's all just whatever.
Like I'd be at a sleepover, like with like back as a like youngster, and like like be like, yo, I like you just like
I don't remember.
Yeah,
just
like,
sleptwalk.
My buddy.
So bizarre.
So you said it was temperature related. For me, I think it's more related to the time of year when it gets dark earlier. So you ever pass out so the times moves back an hour, like a week from now? Yeah. Like a week from now. And it's going to be dark at 4:30, 5 o'clock in the afternoon now. So have you ever fallen asleep while it's like dusk out, and then you wake up and it's 6 p.m. and it's pitch black and you think it's 6 a.m.?
Buddy, I mean, that's NFL Sunday.
That fucks with me so much. And I think for me, that's what triggers it. So this is when I was living with a roommate.
Cycle.
Yeah, just off my cycle. My roommate's watching TV. He said I just popped out of my bedroom and I was taking a nap. This is 2018 probably, so not too long ago. And he's trying to have a conversation. This is from what he told me. I don't remember any of this. And this is one of my oldest best friends. I've known him since I was 10 playing pee-wee football and shit. He said that I was just mumbling words at him and that I was just like, I had a blank stare and I was staring at him, and he was weirded out because he didn't know about the sleepwalking or anything. And he looks at me, he's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? So he like came up to me, and this is when I remember it. He woke me up and I just fucking went ballistic on it.
Yeah, see,
tackled him.
Yeah,
pinned him to the ground, and he said I was just flailing my arms, and he's built like me, enough like me, where he got on top of me and like straddled me and was ready to. He's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I'm like, what just happened? What just happened? What just happened? And he said his heart was racing. My heart was racing.
Sure.
I'm like, I'm sorry. I was sleepwalking. And he was like, dude, I was about ready to fucking kill you.
Good thing you didn't have a knife in your hand like this guy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, they say you're not supposed to wake you up.
Yeah, you never do.
If you're in a
ever
state.
do.
But it's like, I feel like it might be hard to know if you're just like,
right. That's, he had no idea.
Yeah.
Right.
If they're like speaking.
It's just, I don't know. Yeah, you're right.
I've never seen anybody, I've never experienced it myself, and I've never seen anybody do it. So
Because it's hard to tell.
Yeah.
It's like a general state of like grogginess. Like if you see someone like at the fridge, like getting a drink, like
That's so weird,
there's
too.
like strong
I would
odds
do
that
shit
they're-
like
yeah,
that. So I would
strong
just go
odds,
turn
yeah.
I would turn faucets on and just walk away from them in the middle of the night.
That's
Like kind of like Step Brothers.
That's
a
something
little
that
bit.
would drive my dad crazy.
Yeah,
If
just
I
like
did that,
walk up to the
oh.
sink, turn it on, and just go
Yeah.
back to bed.
the fucking
without
agent
having-
of chaos, White Sox Dave.
Yeah.
Weird sleeper, I
Agent
guess.
of chaos.
But that's the other funny thing is when I'm having just normal sleep, which after this podcast, people are going to think I've never ever sleeping. I'm the lightest. I sleep so light. It's unbelievable.
No, I'm the opposite.
You sleep like a bear, really?
Oh yeah, like a log. Like that's like one of my greatest talents is like I will fall asleep on every flight.
Interesting.
Yeah, road trip, no problem. Like I can sleep anywhere.
I can't do it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Unrelated. Here's an interesting note from here from Uber Facts.
Love Uber
This
Facts.
is very random.
Okay.
I just saw this and I felt I needed to bring
You're
it up.
compelled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
According to Nintendo, Wario is not Mario's evil twin.
You said Mario.
They are actually childhood friends. They were childhood friends until Wario became jealous of Mario's good looks and advanced plumbing skills.
It's quite the plot twist. So he's not an evil twin, but it's still they're just friends. It's not hostile. So what are they? Just a bunch. So these three kids, Luigi, you'll throw him in there too. They're just like three kids from the neighborhood who are like all dreamt of being a plumber someday. And Mario is just the best.
Do you know how much a plumber makes?
It's good. It's a good living, but like if you're having three kids like in a small area to get three plumbers out of that, I think that's
true.
No, they're not. I don't think they're related. They were friends.
yeah. But then so it's like let's say they're in the first grade class. Well, what do you want to be when I grow up? A plumber.
There's
the
three
next
kids
kid
plumbers?
astronaut. Next kid plumber. Like what?
That's kind of interesting, though.
I want to fact check Uber Facts on
I
that.
like that, though. Like,
There
not
is a
every-
fact checker for Uber Facts.
But not everything has to be like an evil,
But he's fucking evil, dude.
like an evil thing. It's just like, hey, there was a little jealousy got Wario.
There's a little Cain and Abel story just mixed into Nintendo. Who would have thought?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I don't know.
interesting.
Yeah.
How'd
Yeah.
Luigi get involved then?
Luigi's Mario's brother.
Hey, are you sure of that?
Yeah.
Okay.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't.
Where the fuck have you been?
Well, I mean, we just found out that Wario wasn't his brother, so it could just have easily. I thought they were just buddies.
Yeah.
I thought they were like working together, partners.
Yeah,
on
one's-
the,
Yeah,
yeah,
true. Maybe I should fact
One's
check
tall
that.
and skinny, one's short and fat.
yeah.
Yeah, let me
Are they
fact. Let
brothers?
me fact check that. Actually.
I always.
Is there a mailman in the
in Mar-
Mario series?
Oh, I don't think so.
Maybe their mother was stuffing the mailman.
They were actually fraternal twin brothers.
Oh, interesting. So it's like the Schwarzenegger DeVito thing, like twins.
Yeah,
That movie, yeah.
essentially.
Interesting. If you had to choose one of them for Mario Kart, which one would you pick?
I was typically Luigi.
Yeah, so was I.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You,
I like
Dave?
that green.
I was Yoshi.
No, you. I'm shocked
And
you weren't.
Peach.
I'm shocked you weren't a Bowser guy.
I liked Peach too.
You were the biggest Bowser guy. Of all
I never
time.
really. Did you say Mario Party?
Kart.
Kart, yeah.
I didn't really do party.
I never really got into kart in college a little bit.
So you never did kart,
I did,
And you never did
but I
Party?
was more first person shooter.
dude. Party was awesome.
Yeah, I don't know.
And Donkey Kong.
Party, like,
And Zelda.
can you set that up for us on Twitch? Because I would play.
Oh yeah,
all the
that
time.
very easily.
Dude, I would play all the time.
Yeah, we could do that. I would love to start doing that with regularity once the new office is built out. As we know, nostalgia always plays with our age right now, like 90s nostalgia. Especially like when we do different dog walk topics or snake drafts on, 1990 shit. I would love to do like an hour a week in the stacks or in the library or in the bunker with power weapons and GoldenEye, shit like that. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
It could be, but then
Bring stoolies, like
then
have them play with
Bob
us. or
Fox
against-
says it doesn't hold up.
It doesn't, man.
It does though.
It does not.
absolutely does.
Doesn't, Dave? I'm telling you.
Bob Fox is.
I said it didn't hold up. I played it.
Well,
It doesn't
yeah.
hold up. I don't think Robbie said it. I said it.
He said it too, though.
Oh yeah.
I don't trust Bob Fox on that one though.
Why?
He's
Then you
20.
don't-
What?
then you don't trust
3
me.
years old.
Did you have it? Because I feel like
Yeah.
I was like 11 when that came out, or 10 when that came out, right?
It was 97. So
Yeah,
I
so
was like 9.
I was
Yeah.
10, 11. Yeah, so then I feel like you might have just been a little too young when it first came out. No,
I was like 8, 9 years old.
Came out in
10.
97.
So I was 7 years old.
Yeah. Yeah.
Prime time.
I don't know. We could do all the N64 games though. We could try to see how fast people could beat the Water Temple in Ocarina of Time.
I never played that.
I never made it past the fucking guy at the front.
Greatest video game in the history of video games.
You know what I'm talking about, Harry? I never made it past that motherfucker.
The shimmy you just did was just funny.
You ever seen that guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he does though.
Yeah, I never made it past him.
I remember Trent said, this is years ago, that he was playing it, and someone responded to him on Twitter and said, "You look like a Gorom." And if you knew what a Gorom looks like, and he said was, "Well, you're right, I do." And if you knew what a Gorom looks like, then you'd be like, "That does look like Trent."
I'm looking it up.
You see it?
Yeah.
How do you spell that?
Gorom, I think, from the Gorom village. They're just happy-go-lucky rocks. Nice and jolly fellows.
Trent looks better than those.
Look at that tweet up for us. See when that was. But
okay, this is like maybe the meanest thing anybody's ever said, because he does look like that. If you put glasses on this thing, like that's Trent. That's sad for Trent.
I disagree.
But in the end, yeah, this kid was madly in love with this girl. He couldn't take that she friend zoned him, so he decided to take out a Bowie knife and just gut her to death.
Yeah.
He wasn't sleepwalking.
They also said like he couldn't have been asleep long enough.
That's
to get
exactly
into
it.
that
So
state.
if to get into like the nitty gritty of the documentary, during the trial they brought in like psychologists and all that shit. So they had the security camera from across an apartment complex across the street, and they saw her walking. I think it was 8:35 a.m. and he made the phone call at 8:49 a.m. to say that he murdered her. Yeah. So there's less than a 15-minute stretch. And when they brought in these psychologists to the trial, they're like, all right, based on how many times that he stabbed her, like the time that elapsed and all that, he's like, there's not enough time for him to get into a state of sleep where he would sleepwalk and subconsciously murder this person. So he's in prison for life without the possibility of parole. His appeals were denied. And I thought, as a whole, the documentary completely fucking sucked ass, and I give it 0 stars, and I was pissed you made me watch it.
Thank you, Dave.
Yeah.
Did you think it was any good? I thought it was
You're always
brutal.
a great house guest on the show.
I mean, we're not selling it.
We still have it hasn't approached the standard, which was a Dante recommendation, which was the worst documentary I've ever seen.
Which one was that?
So the Crips and the Bloods. I can't remember the name of it, but it was legitimately like
it was horrendous.
We could have made a better documentary about it.
It was so fucking bad.
With like Harry and a pencil camera.
Yeah, no, listen, it was not good. It was not good. I'm not saying it was bad. It intrigued me because I thought he was going to get off because that's what makes it a compelling story.
Well, they were building towards that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what makes it. So in a way, it kind of was good because they swerved me.
Yeah. No, totally. Yeah. I thought they told the story very well, but when it ends with, he's in jail for life, then I'm like, oh, well, you just made me sit here for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Because he stabbed someone 25 times and had the most absurd alibi ever. Like, I did it, but I was asleep.
Can I tell you the one thing they need to start doing with these, though? So they need to start, with these true crime docs, they need to start finding a way, and they have the technology now. They need to start photoshopping the fucking jail clothes off the fucking person. Because that's always a dead giveaway. Granted, it kind of looked like he maybe worked for like a nursing, kind of looked like he was wearing scrubs. But like that was like the least, but like you know what I mean. Sometimes
it said inmate, and unless you have good eyes, you wouldn't have even noticed.
Exactly.
It.
Like like at first I was like, it's kind of, but I was like, he might be in jail. You know what I mean? Then that's like a dead giveaway.
Before they do that, for this documentary specifically, can we find something better than like the weird plastic claymation?
That was
reenactment
the other thing. Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck am I even looking at?
I thought that was a little creative, but I don't know.
You didn't. That
it was like the
horrible.
Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer Christmas
Worse.
shit.
I like those.
I like them too, but not for a true crime doc.
That's good for the holidays, Dave.
It is, but not for a true crime doc. Yeah. I took it as this. When did this come out? It was last year, right? 2021, I believe. The documentary came out.
Yeah, I think so.
true crime is obviously hot in the streets right now and has been for a minute. I think it was just like everybody's trying to dip their toes into it, and they found a story that could be compelling, and but it's not in the end because the dude's like, anybody who watches this, like, they're not buying shit, even though in my opinion, the documentary kind of not too dissimilar from like Making a Murder or anything. It tries to make the viewer pick a side. Mm-hmm. And it seems like they're trying to lead the viewer into thinking that he is innocent because he was actually insane in that moment while he was sleepwalking. It does a horrible job of that, though. And I think it's just like them throwing, oh, we got this sleepwalking murderer.
Yeah.
Let's throw it on a premium channel and make people get subscriptions. That's what it struck to me.
The only way that this documentary, the ending of it, could have been saved, in my opinion, is if they went through this whole process. They're talking to his lawyers, they're talking to the psychologist, the sleep expert, they're talking to him, his mom, where he's like, yeah, he's got this condition. And then he gets in, and like the final cut is just him being like, I tried my best to get off, but I would definitely murdered her. And just like full out admit it. Like just admit that he was like, that would have been like, oh, you almost like applaud the snake it till you'll make
I thought it was going to be a big thing. Like the public defender was going to like arise. Like I thought it was going to be a big story, but I guess not.
Yeah.
All right, then.
There's one other thing.
So cross that off your list of excuses for murder.
Another thing that
Dave's laying the groundwork here.
Points me to
Carl
thinking that he's guilty is based on his dad's history and his family history of abuse of drugs. I don't think they ever said anything about drugs, right? It was just alcohol?
No, they did. Towards the end, yep.
Okay. He was boozing a ton. A lot of these kind of behaviors manifest themselves around this age, and I've heard that in other true crime documentaries. Like, you could be a perfectly normal teen, seemingly like have the whole world in front of you, and then when you become like 18, 19, 20, something just triggers in your brain, and like whatever was wrong with his dad, that's when it'll start to pop up and come forward out of him. So I don't know, but I think he 100% is full of shit. Even though he is still sticking to the story, you got to give him that. But,
I think you should just admit it.
Or that, yeah.
Yeah. I just wish, like, before all these people die, they could fully admit, like, what happened. You know? Just, like, everything needs to be solved, you know?
Yeah. But to me, like, this, I would call this one solved.
I know, but I'm saying, like...
That's just it.
Yeah, but, like...
So, like, Making a Murder.
Yeah.
You know, he's obviously guilty.
Not a great solve for... what I said doesn't really apply for this one.
Okay, all right.
But, like, for, like, unsolved ones.
They were trying to go for that, though. That's what they were trying to go for. Because, like, Making a Murder, insanely popular, incredibly well made. It left the viewer trying to pick, is he actually guilty or is he only guilty in the eyes of the court of law? You know? But this one, they're trying to gun for that same emotional response from the audience, but they just failed miserably at doing so, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, then, boys. Thank you. Dave, have a nice birthday. Have a nice Halloween weekend, everybody. Mm-hmm. And stay safe out there. Thank you for listening. We'll see everybody on Monday.